force, I know it's hard to remember. All 1,980 members. That's why you have to go and collect them all. Tell your parents they can buy them at the mall. Now!
Hello and welcome to Speeding Bullets Repackaged. I am Richie.
Yo, it's Tower bringing you toy excitement. It's very, very good. It's very thrilling. It is nerd-tastic.
It is.
Toyetic.
Toyetic.
You know what that word? You know that's a word, right?
Toyetic?
What that word means.
I don't know what toyetic is.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so
please tell me what
for those
toyetic is.
We're starting this episode off with some information that you may not know. Toyetic is a word. It's a real word that toy companies have used in the past, and they probably still use, to describe the playability of a thing that they're trying to sell, and whether or not it matches up with their design that they're trying to sell. So, for example, like with the G.I. Joe classic 3 3/4 inch figures, like the toyeticness of that is they have little guns that you can put in their hands to fight one another. They fit in the vehicles. They all fit in the vehicles. Every single toy that is released for the line fits in the vehicle, so that no matter who your favorite is, they can be driving your favorite vehicle. So there's this complete usability. All the guns fit all the hands, all the toys, all the figures fit in all the vehicles, and that makes it an extremely toyetic line. And you can use the same thing with like Masters of the Universe. They're all the same basic size. They all have the basic same components. So there's a playability. But toyetic is usually a word that just basically describes the ability of that product to match up with the designs that they have in their head that will connect with kids and as now old dude collectors like us.
I just got a delivery, and that delivery is going to include 2 action figures. So I'm going to run up and get that, and we're going to look at those in just a moment.
Oh, pause. While Richie is doing that, I'm actually going to fill this space because I am also expecting a delivery today, which does include an action figure, and I was hoping it would be present by the time we started doing this recording. Is not. So, unfortunately, I will not be also unboxing a new action figure live on this podcast. Oops. Thanks, delivery companies, for not getting the product to me in time for us to do this.
It's a large
but
box,
that's okay.
But the figures are not this big. There's other things in this.
I was just saying how I was supposed to get a delivery today. It didn't come yet, so I can't unbox it as well on this episode. But there will be a time to get a delivery, and it will arrive, and I will save the unboxing for this podcast, this wonderful video-ness that you can see us doing here.
So
I hope you all enjoy the new background because I designed that shit. Not on this part, maybe this part, but definitely the beginning and the ending.
Yeah,
so
in this
that's
episode,
new.
definitely the beginning and the ending. Not the background yet. We're getting there.
Not the background yet. We're getting there, but there won't be any more Star Wars-esque crawls of dark space that now that Richie has figured that out.
Well, that was an error on stream. I didn't change the scene on Stream Deck, so that's what caused that.
Blame Stream Deck. Always blaming Stream Deck.
So
what do you got there? What do you got there, Skeppy?
I had ordered because I noticed on JamesSilentBob.com there was a package for the vintage XQ grab box for $75. I've picked up. It includes 2 action figures: the Big Blast Chronic. And then the Big Blast Blunt Man.
Those are actually nice. Yeah, I like the.
They're really nice.
That.
It's Blunt Man's costume. The jacket is actually cloth.
Yes, it's very obvious. We can notice that.
The monkey that comes with Chronic also has poop. There's a couple little wee ninja stars there. These are pretty cool. I mostly got this pack because it had these two figures, which for me, for the $75, is more than worth. Because I paid, well, $75 plus tax and shipping, but I didn't only get those two figures. I also got these Jay and Silent Bob magnets, these Holden McNeil playing cards. I also got a mystery shirt, which I will open now, and I think I know which one it is. It's the Zach and Miri Make a Porno shirt.
Nice.
I had no idea what shirt I was gonna get, and then there's a mystery poster that I'll open later because I'm not gonna unfurl a poster here.
So Richie, here's the question: are those ones going to stay in their package so you can get them signed by Kevin Smith at some point, or are you going to open them up and put them on your shelf?
No, these ones are going to be opened up and put on the shelf. I have a signature on the Clerks in action figures, as well as some other things. I think if I was going to get a Bluntman and Chronic signed, it would probably be the Mego style ones that I have. Because those ones are staying in package because they're hard to pose, whereas these are going to be a lot of fun to pose. So,
shout out, obviously to Kevin Smith and all he does as Richie. I enjoy Kevin Smith, but I am not as big a Kevin Smith fan as Richie is, who's a mega fan. And I guess shout out to the Secret Stash, where they have lots of toys and action figures and all of that stuff.
And I gotta say,
it's in New Jersey.
I like these pop vinyls back here that I all got signed except for the Randall one, because when they were doing the big signing of all of them before sending them out, I guess he was unavailable or whatever. But they packed those pops with such care. And I actually emailed the people that take care of it, and because I was literally impressed with how well they were packed, and they actually pack their stuff with such care. I generally send a thank you email back, and they respond, like saying thank you. Like, not a lot of people follow up like that, but I have a rule. That's
not like Amazon where they just kind of throw it in a box and send it to you.
Yeah. I have a rule that I like to give credit where credit is due, and you have to be willing to compliment as well as complain. So that's just my 2 cents in there.
I agree. That's nice attitude. I approve of your attitude. I think it's good to be nice as well as be a dick.
Yeah.
So I think you have to do for every dick thing you do, you have to do 2 nice things. Yeah. So you can be an asshole, but you have to do 2 nice things in order to get to that asshole. And then of course there's levels to that. If you're a real super asshole, then you got to do like 50 things. But
sorry
anyway.
For that derailment, but I knew that was arriving today.
It's a surprise, Richie. It's a nice little unboxing.
And funny thing,
people love unboxing.
I literally checked right before we recorded if it had arrived, and it didn't. And then as soon as we started recording.
I'm just bummed my Storm Shadow didn't come in time for me to unbox it here on the show. But that's fine. That's fine. Next episode we record, I will have that. I will do a review. I will unbox it before. Can't wait that long to take out the toy and play with it.
I'm like, as we're talking.
Richie, we have lots of stuff to cover this episode.
I get distracted by shiny things.
Lots of stuff to cover. This is our Toy Fair episode. Toy Fair 2025 just happened, New York City last weekend. It is May 7th or March 7th today, so this was the end of February, and we have photos. We have some conversation to have about it, and that's what we're doing this week. Toy Fair 2025, excitement, thrilling action. Do we want to preface it anymore? Do we want to just start throwing
we can
photos?
Just jump right in. We've got a selection of photos that Tupper has provided from Toy Fair. Just so you know, like when we get...
And by provided, I mean I searched Instagram for stuff that I saw.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was a good burp. Thanks for that live action burp. right here.
Other than, very awesomely, making artwork for this show, giving me pictures is the only other thing Tupper does. So
I also talk a lot.
Yes.
And Phil
I said that wrong.
Words.
He doesn't give me artwork. I pay for the art that he makes for this show. So
he sometimes pays for the artwork for the show. Yeah. Sometimes.
When you're not like, here's a new logo.
I have been known to just jump the gun and send things because I am on the cusp of being ADHD and OCD. So yeah, there we go.
All right.
So what's first up on our list again? So just to preface this, we are going to talk a little bit about Toy Fair. Literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of toys were shown at the New York Toy Fair. Last weekend. We are not going to be showing you thousands and thousands of photos. I don't give a shit about 95% of the stuff that they showed at Toy Fair. Mm-hmm. But there is some cool stuff that is within the realm of Richie and I's interests, which is what we are going to be talking about today. So
first set of pictures that we got for you that's going to go up is there's a He-Man Thundercats line that is coming, and I'm going to pop up the first picture there for that being the it's not, there we go, now it's moving, that being the He-Man, I'm guessing that's the He-Man Lion-O crossover.
I think so, yeah, with the sword of, wait, what's the sword from Thundercats called?
I forget.
It's not the Sword of Destiny.
No, the Sword of Ra. No, that's the Sword of Ra. No, that's not. Can't be right.
I honestly look. I will say I am obviously aware of Thundercats. I've seen some of Thundercats episodes, but it was never my favorite thing. So I'm a little bit like, my Thundercats knowledge is very low. But I do love that theme song. Yeah. I will say that.
Anytime
you have a theme song where you yell "ho," I think is always solid.
I haven't watched Thundercats in a long time, and I'm not as well versed in Thundercats as I am in He-Man, so I can't remember the name of the sword. But the next one is basically Cringer as a Thundercat. I'm not sure if he's crossed over with a specific one or not. Maybe Tigra, but not Tigra because that's the female one. But
honestly, this is why I was interested in this. Is the crossover? I think is a really great idea, but the Cringer and Pantho as humanized, anthropomorphized characters with weapons and stuff like that is great. Like, those to me are the ones that people should be the most interested in, and this is a really great design. I mean, this looks.
I'm not sure if I'm going to pick up a lot from this line because I am trying to limit my He-Man stuff to the Kevin Smith line of toys, but that one's cool enough that I might just have to say I need to add that one to my collection.
Very cool. Yeah.
The last He-Man crossover one is the Skeletor, and I can't for the life of me remember the name of the villain for
Mumra.
Mumra, that's it. For
Mumra, the ever-living. Yeah, Mumra. And I like this one because it comes with a Mumra head and it comes with a Skeletor head. So whatever your bad guy preference, you can go down the road. They showed a couple more images from this line at Toy Fair. So more is to come. We'll take a look at the more professional photos when they send them out, the designs and the pricing, and maybe we'll talk about it a little bit more on the podcast. But I did think it's something that we should definitely draw attention to because it looks pretty cool, and it's a pretty great mashup. Thundercats and Masters of the Universe, I think, go together like peanut butter and jelly. Yeah. So smart stuff.
I would love to see them. It's never going to happen, probably, but I would love to see some sort of animated feature crossover with them. I know they've done it comic book wise, but
they have done it comic book wise, and you're never going to see an animated crossover. So good luck with that.
Yeah. All right.
Two completely different brands.
Yeah. Next on the Toy Fair list, we've got some Superman related pictures coming up here for you. That being, there's a Superman Godzilla coming out, just like we had the Batman King Kong. And I don't know if we talked about it yet on the show, but there's the Titano, the Flash. That's probably one we should have grabbed a picture for. Did we talk about it?
We talked about it a little bit, I think.
I don't think we had an image for it yet, did we?
No, I don't think we showed an image of
wow.
Titano and Flash, mainly because it was like, why isn't that Grodd?
Yeah.
And Flash. Richie's complained, why isn't that Grodd and Flash? And it's like, well, they already put Grodd out in the line. It's like, why didn't they just put him out again? And so, I don't know what the
looking a
thought
bit
process
closer at the Titano figure and the Kong figure, my email notification just went off because for some reason my email is still open. But anyways, I think the Titano and the Kong figures are basically the same mold with some alterations.
But here we have Superman and Godzilla, obviously to match up with the Batman and Kong figure that is currently available for you to buy at various outlets. And I don't have a whole lot of anything to say about that. I just wanted to show it's coming out.
It's pretty cool. And I gotta say, just over the past week and a half, because I've only ever previously had watched Godzilla and Skull Island. I didn't watch the rest of that Monsterverse, but this week I decided, hey, I'm gonna follow up on that and watch the rest of it. And it's a fun universe, but it's not.
It is fun.
It's not I need a giant Godzilla that I don't have room for on my shelves.
Just as a side note, I will say that I think that Godzilla versus Kong is awesome.
It is,
and the whole ending is awesome.
I fucking loved it.
But I didn't love Godzilla X Kong. But that was kind of like, it would look cool. It was pretty. They're very pretty movies, but I didn't think it was very good as far as the storyline goes. But it doesn't matter. You're not watching them as movies for storyline. You're watching it for big monsters fighting, and you get that. So
a lot.
Yeah. I'll take more. I think what's worth mentioning here is the Supergirl figure.
So
the one
awesome.
I sent to Richie when this came out. I think it's going to be a huge, huge hit.
Based on the Woman of Tomorrow comic books limited run, which is also, I believe, what James Gunn is basing or getting his inspiration for the Supergirl film that's going to be coming out with Millie Alcock. The other Superman there is just another generic Superman.
Which we know Richie will get 10 of.
I don't know if I'll get that one, because that's very similar to one that I'm looking at my shelf right now. So, not 100% on that. But we got some more DC figures for you. As soon as it shows up on the screen, there we go. And that must be the Chase Mr. Terrific. Maybe they didn't release it right away because the other Mr. Terrific is already out, like the normal with the red and white and black jacket. Or maybe we just haven't seen a Chase and it was just being showcased there. The important one in that picture for me is the Connor Hawk, which I will 100%, just like the Supergirl, be pre-ordering it the moment that it goes onto my GameStop website. Not my GameStop, but where I like to go.
Yes, where everybody knows your name.
Yeah, I call there and they say, "Hi, Richie."
Yeah. Hilarious. I do like the Commissioner Gordon figure. I do like the Hawk Girl figure. There is... I had the old DC Universe Hawk Girl, which was one of the better figures in that whole line, and there was a ton of figures in that whole line. So we'll see if this figure matches up to that. We'll find out when they come out, which will be sometime later this year. Sooner rather than later.
Yeah. We haven't seen any info on them yet, but they'll be out there. Next up,
like in a week. McFarlane's great because like you see a photo and then a pre-order is like the next day. I think the only time I've never seen that is when they announced the Batman '89 and the Batman Begins Batman, and that was last November, and they just came out for pre-order like a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
There was photos of those for like 6 months in advance, and it's just very rare. Usually it's like, oh, there's new McFarlane photos, and it literally the figure is in the stores the next day.
Yeah,
like they have a crazy distribution system. No shade. It's just sometimes you're like, wow, that's coming out in a year, and other times you're like, oh, it's literally out of my shelf.
Yeah,
at the store now, like it's right there. So
and that's how we miss them sometimes.
We miss them sometimes.
Yes. So the next one's the last DC stuff. That being
from Toy Fair.
From Toy Fair, sorry. Another Batman, Starman, Hourman, and what is that? Just a Chase Azrael type Batman, or?
Think so, yeah. It looks exactly the same as the one that Mr. Lefebvre got for me last year. Richie, I am on the fence. Do I get another version of Azrael Batman? Because this one
looks cool. It looks cool.
It's pretty cool, and it matches up with the Curse of the White Knight Azrael updated figure that I have as far as a color scheme goes. And I do like the color scheme here more than the blue one that I have, which I also do like. I don't know. I'm on the fence, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and it is a great figure. I just wish they would put out one that was exactly matching the color scheme from the comics. Oh, God damn it, McFarlane! This is why you lost the license. This is why it's going back to Hasbro. We're going back to Mattel.
Yes, which was another thing we found out.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah, okay.
All right, some
let's
Marvel
continue
stuff.
With the Toy Fair stuff.
The Doctor Doom helmets, the cosplay helmets is what they call the helmets when they make them, because you can wear them, or you can display them.
You can wear them. Some people wear them. Some people display them. Some people use them as the linchpin to their whole outfit, depending on your personal aesthetics. I mean, I like the design on this. I think it could be a little bit more detailed, but I mean, it's nice. It's a nice looking helmet. It's the version of Doom that I like the best. So, I mean, the real question, I think, Richie, is this going to be more or less how the helmet looks when Robert Downey Jr. puts on the helmet in the movies?
Yeah. No, I
feel like it's gonna. I feel like this is gonna be as close. This is gonna be like close. This. Yeah.
I also still don't think he's the prime Doom, so to speak.
Whatever. Save that.
That's
for the
another
other
podcast. All right.
Another podcast.
Another Marvel figure. This one is already out of sale for pre-orders on GameStop. The Archangel one. I didn't pre-order it. Not that it doesn't look cool or anything, because it looks really fucking cool. It's just I don't know. I like Archangel, and I don't want to get it just because it's cool. And not that it wouldn't fit in with my other stuff. It's just I kind of just stick to Wolverine when it comes to my X-Men stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I have an Archangel figure from one of the lines about 15 years ago, and I've always been a fan of the character, and I think this is almost exactly the kind of figure that I would want from an Archangel figure. The wings are a little bit more posable. You can get some pretty good posability out of the wings, but the design of the wings is not quite my preference. I'm looking at more of that like early to mid 1990s design from Whilce Portacio that has like that has like 4 or 5 different blades and everything. This is close, but it's not exact. But it is nice. They put some like throwing. They have some shards from the wing effect for throwing them. They've never had that before, and I think that's kind of neat. So,
I think if he was in his original costume for Archangel, I would probably get it because I think it would look really a lot cooler. Not the X-Force one is pretty cool, but just not enough for me to say I'm going to put that on my shelf.
Yeah, it's almost there, and we'll see. But I mean, again, I think if you're a big fan of the character, this is a nice design. So good job.
And another one that's already out for pre-order, that I have pre-ordered because I think it looks cool. Tupper thinks it's kind of meh, but that's the Daredevil Born Again. So I pre-ordered it.
I'm really meh. I'm going to be honest here on the podcast and say that I don't hate the Daredevil design for the MCU or for the TV series when it was on Netflix, but I don't love it. Mm-hmm. I never loved it. I think that there could be some work done in it. It's a little too techy for me. It's a little too designy, and I would like it to be a lot more stripped down and a lot simpler. And it's really missing that logo on his chest for me. Mm-hmm. That's just me. Do not your mileage may vary. I'm not saying it sucks. I'm just saying for me it doesn't.
That's why when I went to pre-order, I'm like, fuck Tupper, I'm going to pre-order this. I think it's cool.
I mean, I don't want that to be the attitude that everyone brings to their day, where they're purposefully doing things against me. Did I get that latte? You know what? Fuck Tupper. I will get that latte. And it's like, well, why are you bringing me into it at all? But again, I will happily say that once Richie has his figure, I will take a look at it, and I have been reserved the right to change my opinion on it. But yeah, meh.
Yeah,
meh for me. But I'm glad you're getting it.
Mm-hmm. You'll get to look at it. That's it for Marvel from Toy Fair, which brings us to Tupper's bread and butter of G.I. Joe figs.
Love me some G.I. Joe classifieds. First up, I think, is Crystal Ball.
You are correct.
So Crystal Ball, long-awaited figure from the G.I. Joe line. This is a Walmart exclusive. So if you are in the States, you can only get it at Walmart. And I guess for us up here in Canada, it will be a GameStop exclusive or Walmart. So it'll be at Walmart stores. And then I think you can get it through GameStop like a couple of weeks or like a month later, something along those lines. I don't know. Richie will tell me what they tell him, because this is a classic figure from the G.I. Joe line. I have to have this one. Mm-hmm. So I have to have it. It's so ridiculous. I love the old flintlock gun. It's a ridiculous and great update. I'll be getting this one for sure. So Richie, you'll have to let me know if GameStop is offering it. What's next, I think, is just some photos of some of the new retro figures that are coming out. Yeah, so CoverGirl and Flint and the Televiper. Flint and the Televiper are definitely ones I'm going to get. I got to say the digital render for CoverGirl looked better than the actual figure, so it's still a maybe for me. But Flint and the Televiper are for sure ones that I want to get. I think the next photo is of the Snake armor.
You are correct, sir.
Oh boy, this is the one. We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, and because we just showed the digital render, and I was like, does a figure fit in there? And this photo, I included this photo so you can see a figure does fit in there. The box is right next to it, and it shows that the figure is fully posable. The limbs don't just go up and down, they go all over the place, so you can get the maximum posability out of it. This is an absolute must-get. Put it in my hands now. It's definitely $90.
Oh, definitely.
It's definitely going to be $90. I don't care. This is, I think, this is going to be, I think, on a bunch of people's lists for one of the best releases for 2025. Yeah. Look at how cool shit looks. Look at how cool that's going to look on your shelf. Oh my God. Very excited. Very excited. Yay. And the final G.I. Joe image that we have is it was revealed, and it's going to be the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive this year. It is what is it?
I forget the name of the band.
Slither.
Yeah,
Cold Slither is the name of the band. But it's the Dreadnoks. It's from the animated series. They have a bunch of animated series specific figures coming out this year, like they showed at Toy Fair. The Snake Eyes and the Polar Bear from the Mass Device episodes of G.I. Joe, and Breaker is available, and the the two frogmen, the G.I. Joe and the Cobra Frogman from that series. This is not from the Mass Device episodes, but it is from the animated series. And if you're into the Dreadnoks playing music, you got to go to San Diego and you got to get yourself a ticket. They're going to be
one day we'll make it there, Tupper. One day.
Don't worry, Jimmy. One day we'll make it to California. Surely we'll, Mr. Homer. Surely we'll.
Next up, another great 80s property. I love the idea of these, but I probably won't be picking up any Mask action figure. I'm just glad that they exist.
Yeah, it's nice that they brought back Mask. Mask, for those of you who don't know, maybe you're a little younger, or maybe you just missed it, because it was a blink and you'll miss it moment, was an 80s TV series about, vehicles that turned into other vehicles. It was like,
I think this is where my love for flying cars was ignited. Not Back to the Future, right here.
It's true. I did have Matt Tracker, which is the Camaro-looking car where the doors come up and turn into wings and he flies around. I had that car. I also had the motorcycle turns into a helicopter. I had that one as well. I mean, this is, I think, just a great line. It's got increased articulation, but it's basically the exact same as it was in the 1980s. And I support this making a revival, and we'll see how it does. But it is back for a new generation. For those of you who are wondering, Mask does have one of the best 1980s themes for all of cartoons on YouTube, where you are watching this. So when you're done with this episode, just click on Mask theme and it'll come up and it'll play the whole thing. It is dope. It is fresh. It is awesome. It is fly.
It is timeless.
All of those old words to describe it. You should go and listen to it if you haven't heard before. Mask theme is really great. So yeah, this is cool that they're bringing back Mask. Old is new again.
Yeah. All right.
And there's one more thing from Toy Fair.
That's right. The Mortal Kombat stuff.
So we are going to talk about this in just a second at more detail, and you're going to get Richie and I's opinions on them. But revealed exclusively at Toy Fair was the fact that McFarlane is taking on the Mortal Kombat license because they've lost the DC license. And these were the reveals that they had. Very rudimentary. The figures are not coming out until later this year. But yeah, classic Mortal Kombat line, 7 inches with that McFarlane detailing. What do you think about this, Richie? Like, is this something you're interested in? I'm so on the fence. I think it looks great. I'm gonna have to see them out in the stores. I might have to pick up a couple.
I like Mortal Kombat, and I have MK1 on my PS5 right now, and I've played a bunch of the games over the years, but I have zero interest in action figures for Mortal Kombat.
Okay, so this is now. What if they do a violent version where they have like body parts and stuff?
Then I might reconsider. Then I might reconsider, because the way they look right now, it doesn't look like there's much to them. I think if you really want to capture Mortal Kombat, you're right. You need to have some like blood effects that come with them. Maybe I don't know, stuff to highlight their abilities, not just like if they do a Ryu, they can do his Hadouken or however you say it.
First of all, that's Street Fighter.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's Street Fighter. Well, there's someone like that in Mortal Kombat as well. There's somebody like that in Mortal Kombat as well.
Yeah, Liu Kang.
That's it, Liu Kang.
Character from Mortal Kombat.
All those fighting games are almost the same.
Oh my God, I am embarrassed. I don't know if we can continue on this podcast now, where Richie mixed up Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat like some rube. What the shit? What the shit? I apologize for my co-host and his inability to get his fighting game game stuff correct. I'm just what an embarrassment. But Richie is correct. I think so. What I think is, I think this is just like the start. I think they have the license for a bit. McFarlane's always been known for pushing the envelope and being violent. And look, there have been grosser or visceral action figures that have been out there, blood effects and all that. I do really think that this line will have some really gory, cool designs. And I think it's just the we'll see where they go with it, but I'm pretty certain that because they got that license, it gives them a chance to put out the generic. Oh yeah, Mortal Kombat. Here's your Liu Kang. Here's your Kano. Here's your Johnny Cage. Here's your Sonya. But also like here is bloody fists and hearts and skeletons and flame effects and blood effects and gore effects. So I really feel like that's going to happen, and I think that will tip the scales for some people in whether or not they want to get this line.
The last picture Tupper has, which I'll bring up, has a few different Batmans and a Two-Face. And before we move on to my pictures, and as we talk about this, maybe we can talk about the Mattel DC the line as well. I'm not sure which versions these Batmans are supposed to be. It was one Batman from like the Justice Lords in the upper left picture there.
That is correct. It's
okay.
Justice Lords Batman, and it's DC 1 million Batman. I wanted to include this photo set because these literally, it's again March 7th today, and they were just released like either late last night or this morning. So March 6th or March 7th. So this will come out next week, obviously, or in a couple of weeks. But it's brand new. More photos of those ones are coming, but this is kind of like a cool little introduction to some of the stuff that's coming up. Because as we mentioned before, we're entering into the twilight, the end saga for the Todd McFarlane DC Universe license, which ends in Q2 2026. And they just announced this prior to Toy Fair that it's going to be it. There's not going to be any more McFarlane DC action figures, at least for a while. Like 5-6 years. So what's your opinion on this, Richie? What's your thinking?
Well, I've seen a lot of turmoil about it online. I've seen a lot of people, and the problem is a lot of people are comparing the current McFarlane figures to the old Mattel figures, and that's not a fair comparison because they're still using the T-legs at that point, and any of their other toy lines, they're not using the T-legs. Like I have a whole bunch of Mattel Masters of the Universe Revelations and Revolution stuff, and they're 6 inches. The detail on them is great. They use cloth when warrants it for certain things. They come with a great amount of accessories. I'm interested to see what Mattel will do different than McFarlane. So I'm going into it with a hopeful optimism that we're gonna get some pretty cool figs. I'm the only slight concern I don't know how I feel about yet is if they're gonna bring it down to the 6 inches, because everybody else, that's what everybody does except for McFarlane, and B, I had a B. What was my B? I forget. My B is I forget, but yeah. But just how are they going to compare to the 7-inch? And I see a lot of people like, I don't want to buy figures all over again. And I'm like, you don't have to buy them over to replace them. You can buy them in addition to your collection. You can start a new collection if you want to, or if you don't want to, I don't care. Just stop fucking bitching about it on the internet.
Or honor him.
So.
Yeah, I think sometimes change is the thing that freaks people out the most. Yeah. And I admit when I heard this, I was like a little bit surprised and a little bit dismayed because I do feel it over the years, the McFarlane figures have gotten better. I think that overall the line is improved. And I think it was interesting to see where they were going to go with it if they had the license for longer and what changes they were going to make. However, there are things about the McFarlane line that I don't love. I don't love the wrists or the ankles on a lot of those figures. I don't love the fact that they put out so many Batman and we've only had a couple of Wonder Woman. I mean, there's like literally 60 Batman and there's been 3 Wonder Woman figures.
The other thing I was thinking of is if Mattel is gonna prioritize quantity over quality, and I think that's a fair worry for people to have out of there, because I know Mattel does produce more figures, not just as in variety, but like when they make a He-Man figure, they'll put out 1 million He-Man figures, whereas the McFarlane will put out 100,000 of the Batman. I'm just making up these numbers, but looking at the things that I have, like, I don't think the quality is going to suffer just because they're increasing the quantity. I just think because Mattel is a bigger company, they have the ability to pump out more of these figures than McFarlane.
Well, I think it's not so much even a quantity problem. I think people are just concerned because, like, for the most part, the sculpting and design of the McFarlane stuff is really good. It's really high quality for a lower price point. And there are quibbles that you can make over those things, but I think that the concern is that they're pretty high quality looking toys, and Mattel is more of a toy company. And even though I think they had great success with the DC Universe line when they had that line, I think collectors are again looking for more detail and more design elements in their posability in their toys now. I mean, we look at the G.I. Joe Classified line, we look at some of the Marvel Legends stuff, we look at the stuff put out, through NECA, and we're seeing a higher quality for toys now as far as the look and the design and the accessories. And I think the worry is that because Mattel hasn't had the license for 5 years and a lot has changed in the last 6 years, that we're going to get reduction in the overall look of these toys. And my feeling is, and we've talked about this, but you've told me that all the Masters of the Universe lines are solid when it comes to posability. They're solid when it comes to the look and feel of those toys.
They also don't use the
solid
pin
with the accessories.
They don't all. So
they're pinless designs, which was one of my big complaints about the McFarlane stuff, is that it is pins, and it's very noticeably pins from time to time. So I think that Mattel is a very successful toy company, has made billions of dollars over the years. I think they won the license back from DC because they said, we're going to deliver the same level of design quality that people have loved with the McFarlane line, but we'll be able to provide posability. We're going to increase our posability. They probably have some interesting designs coming up for posability. I think they've worked and mixed around with their with the articulation on those figures that are coming, and I think you're going to start to see for the DC line more of a G.I. Joe Marvel Legends style of posability for the articulation coming. So I think that's happening. But I think it's the design. I think the design of those figures is going to be above what we've seen even with the Masters of the Universe line. And I think that's why they won the license back. So I think a lot of this is fear over nothing.
Yeah.
It's definitely going down to 6 inches, though. They're not going to keep the 7-inch line. That's a McFarlane only thing.
Yeah.
It's definitely going back down to 6 inches. I think collectors are going to be very happy with that because they're going to fit more in with their existing designs.
And that's the thing, too, because then you can actually make poses and scenes with your Marvel and DC figures, because if you want to do that now, they really look out of place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I mean, you can. I have the Dark Side. You can do Dark Side stuff because, like, he's giant to begin with.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really make much of a difference. But some of the elements, it's off, and you can't put a Batman next to, say, Iron Man or Captain America. He's too big. So yeah, I mean, we're speculating. I think that the Mattel stuff is going to be pretty solid. Mm-hmm. I think that I don't think it's going to be overproduced. I think the lessons they can take from McFarlane is to maybe reduce the number of products that are out there on the shelves, because we see a lot of product for McFarlane. Put out a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And
like that
I'd like to see a reduction.
Had like 30 penguins.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's a lot of product, man. And I'd like to see there be more of a switch to not necessarily what Marvel does, what Hasbro does with the Marvel line, but with the G.I. Joe line, where it does seem like you're a little bit of looking for that stuff. Mm-hmm. You can find it, but you're a little bit kind of chasing it down for specific figures. I think if Mattel does chase figures just like McFarlane does, that's going to be a big success for them. Yeah. I think if they reduce the amount of product at retail, make sure that there is product, but not too much of it, mm-hmm. you know? And maybe like with the Penguin figure, be like, oh, the Batman movie is popular, but most people are looking for Batman, not the Penguin.
Let's do 50,000 instead of 100,000.
Yeah, like think about your distribution metrics and everything. And I would love to see Mattel do Batman figures, and I'd love to see their spins on all the stuff that McFarlane has been doing. Because I mean, if it's good, I'll get it. It doesn't matter if I already have it. If it's good, mm-hmm. it's worth getting.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see them do stuff that we haven't seen before. Yeah. But it's really going to come down to, and I will say this until we start seeing the first releases, going to come down to how those figures look.
Yeah.
And they need to look good, and they need to have detail, they need to have character, they need to have posability, they need to have articulation, and they need to have good accessories. And I do feel like we're going to get something interesting, and it's going to be decent. Yeah. And it is going to be comparable to the Masters of the Universe line, but I think it's going to be even better, because I think the fans are expecting it to be better.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
All right, so I've got some pictures for us as well.
Richie didn't send any of this to me, so I don't even know what he's going to be showing.
Yeah, he doesn't know what I'm going to be showing. That's right, I could have sent it to you, but it's a mix of stuff that is coming out and stuff that I have picked up recently for my personal collection.
How am I going to see it? Are you just going to show it to me on your phone on the screen?
Or actually, for most of them, if you go to the GameStop website on something, you can see.
What?
Just bring it up on your phone and look at the picture.
Go to the website?
All of these ones that I'm about to show you are on the website if you want to look at them. Or you can watch the episode again after, Tupper. Anyway.
You're just over here telling me to Google it. Oh, you know what? Google it. Google it.
So there's a whole line of the Spider-Man Marvel Legends Gamerverse is what they call it. From
I've seen these.
the Sony Spider-Man 2 specifically game that they're doing figures for now. The first one that I'm going to bring up is the Peter Parker in the black suit / symbiote suit from Spider-Man 2. It looks symbiote. I know. I'm just making the Venom joke. But it looks really cool. I missed out on the Secret Wars Spider-Man black suit, which if I find, I will probably still get. But I have pre-ordered this black suit Spider-Man. I really like the Venom web tendril effect that comes with this one. So
yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is a definite pickup for me. The other ones, let's bring this up here. The next one I got for us is the Miles Morales. It's called the Upgraded suit. It's his last suit in the Spider-Man 2 game. It's the one, it's blue, it's got the white stripe, and it's red up here. And he's got some yellow effects here for his Venom touch. I wasn't a big fan of this suit in the game, so I'm not going to pick up this Miles suit, but there is some.
I like the design.
Yeah,
I like the design. It's all right.
The next one that I'm going to throw up there is, as soon as I switch it over, I don't like this design at all in the game or for a figure. It's the Peter Parker anti-Venom suit. The anti-Venom suit in the Spider-Man game is a blue-purple suit instead of the white and black suits, like the inverse colors that you get. They made it. They made it their own thing. That's fine, but again, not for me.
Yeah, I had no interest. Play the game, but I'm not thrilled about the design.
The next one, another one coming from Miles, and I'm probably definitely going to pronounce the name of the suit wrong, but it's the Miles Morales Baruchia or Baruchia. I don't know. It's a in the game, he gets gifted a suit from a Latino community that he helps out. So it's black. It's kind of got looks like a Puerto Rican flag because it's got the 1 star and the stripes going down. It's cool. It looks cool. Just not something that I'm gonna throw up on my shelves personally.
Well, you're not Puerto Rican.
Yeah, that's true. Or Latino.
But if you were Puerto Rican, you'd probably be big into that figure. So
definitely there will be a lot of interest for people out there.
Although I have to say this, like if you put out like a Captain Canada version of any toy, like that's not going to appeal to me either. I'm not big on that sort of flaggy stuff. But I know people are. I don't want to take it away from them. I think that's fine as far as the design goes, and I think they should do more stuff like that, especially with BIPOC characters like Miles Morales. Mm-hmm. I think that's great. Do that, but just so we're clear, any interest in that for my shelf. It's like Captain America is pushing it real hard because it's like it's very American, and I don't want to put that shit on my shelf. But like that's it. Like I don't want to take it away from anyone. It's just not a big thing for me.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I just had to respond to a message from one of the boys. The next one I got up for us here is the Black Cat figure coming from the Gamerverse. Looks like a perfectly fine figure. It's not a Black Cat design I myself am a fan of. So it's not a figure that I have pre-ordered.
It didn't do anything for me.
Yeah. It's not. It's very generic, if you know what I mean. It doesn't.
I think that's a lot of this line. If I'm being honest, that's a lot of this line. I think this is a line because the game is popular. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I like that one jacketed. Is that the Miles Morales, the first one that you showed?
No,
the jacket.
No, I'm about to bring up the Miles 2099 that you like.
That's the one that I like the most. The one he's putting up next.
That's the one that I don't like that one at all. I'm generally a fan of 2099 type stuff. I don't like the cargo pant look for Miles. It doesn't do anything for me.
See, I play the game, right? So I'm only looking at it from aesthetic point of view, and from I do like the design from the aesthetic point of view for me. That's all I'm saying. But I'm, like I didn't play it. So
that being said, too, the most recent Spider-Man 2099 that they released from the Into the Spider-Verse universe, I don't like that design either. And if I'm being honest, I don't really like that. Not that I don't like the portrayal, because Oscar Isaac does well in the role, but I don't like that version of Spider-Man 2099. I much like the classic look and what I think Miguel O'Hara acts like. Not
see, and that's very funny because I actually really like the Into the Spider-Verse version. I like the look and I like the design and I like the character in the film.
For me, he's got that too much of that Rob Liefeld Captain America chest thing going on for me.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
He's broad-chested, but it's an animation style thing. I get what Richie's saying. It's an animation style. He's like, I don't prefer the design they went with in animation. It works for me. I wouldn't want a toy based on it, though. Mm. That's I think what we're talking about here. Would I prefer something that's more in line with that, but real human proportions and not animated? Yes, I do agree.
That I like that I picked up not too long ago, probably for a little bit more expensive than I should have, is this guy.
You get screwed on that one. You can see the holes in the pins. They really They boned that up when they made that figure because it should have been red for the pin, not blue, but whatever.
But the last...
Hasbro's not perfect either, guys.
The last one in the Gamerverse is the Venom figure that's coming out. And while it does look cool, it is what I believe to be incredibly overpriced because it's out for pre-order already. And it's like if you don't have a GameStop membership, because you get 10% off, but it's $86.99 this figure, and
way overpriced.
This thing
way overpriced.
If it's way overpriced, unless it's bigger than my fucking Doomsday, then maybe it's not overpriced. But yeah. So
but it's not going to be. They've shown, there was photos from Toy Fair where it's displayed next to the regular figures. It's about twice as big. It's chunky, but chunky is like $50 for those more deluxe figures, like $90. What is Hasbro thinking?
I paid $56 for my Red Hulk, and for me that was worth it. I know that was a little much for you, for Tupper, for the Red Hulk, but I think it was good. And same thing for the Scar. The Scar I think was probably more worth than the Red Hulk. But
I think and I think when it comes to these designs and these figures, it depends on what your proclivities are. I'm like, if I'm going to be spending that much, it's got to be something that, like, I've spent $60 on the NECA Alien toys because they're a little bit bigger and they're not regular line stuff. They're there's a detailing that's associated with them, and I'm a huge Aliens fan. Like, I expect to pay a little bit more. And I'm fine with that. And I'm fine with some of the larger figures having a lot of accessories and everything. I don't mind spending $60 to $70 on a big figure if it comes with a bunch of shit. But I don't want to spend $85 plus tax, $90 on a chunky figure with two hands and some drool effects.
Yeah.
And really, that's what you're getting with that Venom figure. I mean, it's just got two extra hands. It's got an extra head, I think, and it's got some drool effects. And I'm like, that is not worth the amount of money that you're spending on that toy. It's way too overpriced at nearly $90. And so I feel like the economy, the economy of action figures can get very complicated because we have seen stuff that, I mean, just to deviate a little bit, a lot of people were upset about the Maximum Spider-Man because they were like, well, $50, it's like $60 for us here in Canada. $60, $50, $60 for this 6-inch figure with all of these accessories. They put out a Black Widow figure 3 years ago that was $40 and had a whole bunch of accessories with it, the same amount of accessories. So, like, the price pointing is off in that. And I get that argument, but here's the thing, guys. Like, female figures do not sell, number one. So there's that. Number two, a lot of those accessories are probably going to be put into other figures in different parts of the line. I also get that, so they can bring the price point down on it. But they probably also didn't make a ton of it. So their cost versus return is lower, but it's a Spider-Man figure. Your people are going to want it. It has extra posability. It comes with features and hands and heads that have not been available across the lines. And they're only for Spider-Man. And even though you can get different types of Spider-Men, the hands have to match. And I'd say for 80% of the figures that are out there, the Spider-Man hands that are coming with this Maximum Spider-Man will not match.
Anything.
Like, it's not going to match with Superior Spider-Man. It's not going to match with Iron Spider that I got up there. So I think we get a little bit like, but this was that cost, and now this is more expensive. And it's like, you want it, get it. Richie wanted the Red Hulk. He got the Red Hulk. I don't have any interest in the Red Hulk. I wasn't going to spend $60 on that. Because what does he come with, an extra set of hands and an extra head?
Yeah, pretty much.
Meh. When I got Thanos from the bigger display line, that was $40. He came with an extra set of hands and an extra head. Infinity Gauntlet, and I was fine with that. That's $40. but like your mileage may vary.
Yeah,
you know,
it's all your
sometimes
personal
the stuff
preferences.
yeah, man.
I'm a Hulk guy. I like Hulks. So, and I didn't have any Hulks, and then suddenly I had Scar, Red Hulk, and a giant Marvel Select, very hulking looking Hulk.
Yeah, I have 4 Snake Eyes figures, and that's not even all the Snake Eyes figures that have been put out for the G.I. Joe Classified line. There's another more like desert version, but he's basically the same as the very first version. I'm not going to do that. But let me tell you, I'm really wringing my hands over getting the Polar Bear Snake Eyes mass device figure because he comes with different hands, and he's purple. Comes with a polar bear, but it's the same buck, the same figure as the retro Snake Eyes that was put out last year that I got. So I'm like, but I'm really wringing my hands. I'm like, do I want to get this because it's based on the animated series, but it's the same toy, but it's based on the animated series. And I'm like, I don't know. And it's your personal proclivities, man. I got like 5 or 6 Wolverine figures. It's whatever you want. You know, I have a ton of Batman. It's whatever you want.
Yeah,
Get
I've got
whatever
5 or
you
6
want.
Wolverines too.
I think it really does come down to what does this work for my shelf? What does this work for what I want? And we all, I think, have certain toy designs that we're willing to go above and beyond on our cost on. Again, that snake armor through classified line is going to be $80 to $90 for sure. I have to have that. No, it doesn't come with a figure, just the armor. But I'm going to have to get that. So that's now going into that's in my head of this is going to be overpriced at whatever it is because it doesn't come with a figure, but I have to have this toy. So I'll spend the money to get that. And you have to set your lines at what it is and just think about the economy when it comes to your own personal things. Yeah. But don't get on, sometimes it's just like don't get on people's cases for spending money on stuff. Yeah. But we can all agree giant figure that just comes with 2 sets of hands, an extra set of hands, an extra head, and drool effects is not worth $90.
Yeah, exactly.
So just don't buy it.
So just before we wrap up, I do have some additions to my collection that I want to share. The first one I'm really impressed with. It's the 50th anniversary Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface. There's actually a few Texas Chainsaw Massacre's figures coming out. There's 2 different Leatherfaces and another chainsaw, the hitchhiker one that are coming. But the one I got is the one with the yellow apron and has a blue apron that comes with it too. But it comes with a couple different heads where he has different people's faces on them, a bunch of different weapons, the chainsaw, a couple different hands, $50 after taxes and my discount at GameStop I got this for. So I was really pleased with that, and it was one of the ones that I've been missing from my horror collection is Leatherface. So pretty happy with that pickup.
Stuff.
The next one for me is another horror figure, another NECA figure, one that I was been looking for since I got back into action figure collecting again, because I'm a big Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street fan. That, of course, the 30th anniversary figure came out a while ago, and I've been looking for it for a few different places here and there, and Amazon had one that was kind of going up and down in price. And then I got my check from Doug Ford, which I didn't vote for him anyway, because fuck that guy, but even though he still got in. But I'm like, well...
Very regional part of the podcast there. If you're watching us from the States, he's the premier of Ontario, and that means nothing to you, but he sucks and he looks like a thumb.
But
we didn't vote for him.
Finally got my Freddy figure ordered from Amazon. It just arrived on Monday. Comes with some good accessories. His hat comes off, which is cool. It's got different hands. One where he's like where he had cut off his finger and a few other things. So I'm super happy with that figure as well. It's one that I've been keeping an eye out for the right moment to pick up, which I did because I got an extra $200. That I mean, it was $90 I spent on them, but previously I had seen them going on Amazon for about $150, and over that on other sites that I wasn't willing to pay that much for.
Oh yeah.
The last figure I got, it's funny because this one actually is not out in Canada yet because it's not due out for another few weeks. But Jen went out to the United States yesterday. Boo!
Sorry, Sorry. If you're American and you're watching this, we're only booing your government. We like you. You're fine.
Because there are all that tariff, trade war shit that's going on, but she had some stuff that she had to deal with for her U.S. postal box there. So while she was there, she went to Walmart, and I said, let me know if there's any good action figures there. And she sent me a bunch of pictures, and one of the pictures that I immediately told her, yes, grab that right now, was, because there was the only one on the shelf, was the Chase version of the Supergirl figure, not Supergirl, the Power Girl figure that is coming out in a few weeks here in Canada. The image I got up on now is the front and back look of, because on the back of the jacket it has the Superman symbol. This is her modern Power Girl look that she adorned during the Power Girl Reborn miniseries, I believe. The non-Chase version of Power Girl that's coming out is the classic Power Girl look that I will be getting in a few weeks. But this is one that I was definitely like, I need to have both versions of this, and it was totally worth it. The Streaky, which I'll put up on there because she comes with a Streaky. Her eyes are red in it, but also Streaky's eyes are red, and in this. But the one that's Tupper will get, because I'm going to give him my Streaky after, is from the other one, is not going to have red eyes, unfortunately for you.
That's by the way, that's a terrible sentence. The Streaky that I'm going to give Tupper after.
It's true.
It sounds like he's gonna bully me in the boys' bathroom at 3 p.m. and we're in grade 8. I'm gonna give him such a Streaky. Now I will leave it up to you to figure out what a Streaky is. I have my own ideas, and they're all terrible. But yes, I will take that Streaky. You'll take that Streaky
and like it,
and add it to my shelf. I just think it's funny that you got the Chase version of a figure before you got the actual version of the figure, and you're due to get that like in 2 weeks, and you didn't. So you kind of like got ahead of the schedule, got ahead of the game a little bit because of cross-border
no, it's funny.
politics.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre figure that I had pre-ordered, it's still up on the website as being released on the 21st of March. But the good thing I like about GameStop is when you pre-order figures, if they get it early, they'll still sell it to you, whether it's and they put the other one on the shelf. So I don't know why on the website doesn't say new released, but.
It's very interesting because I think when it comes to action figures, they have a street release date, but it's very generic. Like, it's not like they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be out in April 1st, and they'll get them like 2 weeks in and be like, oh, shipping. And then, like with a lot of things, you can't put out movies or music before the date that it's supposed to be released on. But I think toys are very like and loose with this whole thing. So frequently, like, it was like, oh, I thought it was going to come out in May, and it'll be like early April, and you get it, and they're selling it, and you're like, whatever. Like, I don't think they have a date on that stuff.
It's like
kind of fun.
This is the date, whereas my Ash and Cheryl has been delayed another week again, till next week. It was supposed to come out 2 weeks ago, then it got pushed to last week, then it got pushed to this week, and now it's next week. So I think with toys, it's like whenever it hits the stores, you guys are allowed to sell it. So
pretty much, yeah.
So
pretty much.
There you have it, folks. We covered a lot of info, a lot of stuff.
Really did.
Toy Fair.
We jammed a lot into this hour and 10-minute episode.
I think I really found a good way to bring everything up on the screen better, a lot more smoothly. But I did hear from somebody that they would like us to put the audio version of this up as well, just because they were doing something and they know it's visual, but they wanted to just listen to it. And on YouTube, unless you have premium, you have to like keep your phone unlocked and yada yada. So I was like, all right,
We'll add it.
I'll start pumping out audio versions of it.
We'll add it to Spotify and Apple Podcasts and
we'll get
Stitcher
there.
And Podbean and all. I don't know all the names, but yeah, I mean, look, that's whatever works, right? If you enjoy the dulcet sounds of our voices, then we can give it to you.
Exactly.
We can give it to you.
Yeah, we can give you a streaky too if you want.
Oh, Richie, you ruined it. Like you ruined everything. Well, folks, thanks for being with us.
If you're watching this, don't forget to check out our other content, speedingbulletsreloaded.com, or you can listen to our other podcasts on anywhere you get your podcasts. And I'm going to start streaming again on Twitch soon. I haven't in a little bit, but check me out there. Have a good one, guys.
There you go. If you have some tricks and stuff that you want to send to us, info@speedingbulletsreloaded.com. We will read your messages on this stream.
That's right.
And we'll go from there. Okay. Bye. Everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Double-handed wave. Double-handed. Yeah.
Is that like a double-handed streaky?
No, Richie. You're a terrible person.